You ready, Jack?
Yes, John, I'm ready.
All right.
Jason, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay. Would you start us out just the goals for this spring? What are you looking to accomplish?
Well, there's really, I think, three primary goals that we have. Number one is we want to make sure that our players leave the spring with a thorough understanding of our systems and what we're trying to get done. It's hard to believe, but of all the MAC schools, we are now the third most established as a staff with our systems. There's only two schools that the head coaches have been there longer than we have now. And by year three, your systems need to be up and running. And so we got to have a good knowledge base and a thorough understanding of what we're doing. I think the next thing might be the biggest is just the competition that's going on. We have more internal competition right now in our program than we've ever had before. That literally every job right now is up for grabs, and we have good candidates going for it. So I think we're going to see a better level of practice, which is going to push each other, guys to get better and raise the whole level of our football team. And then the third part of it is, and this just sticks out from last season, is we have to start becoming a more physical football team. And quite simply, that's running the ball better on offense and defending the run better on defense.
You mentioned the competition. I mean, even the guys who you would say, oh, he's definitely got a job coming back, those people are up for competition as well?
It's not only they got, there's certain guys, like Chris Jones was an all-conference player last year, and Dwayne Woods was an all-conference player, but we've got good young players at those positions, so maybe the competition isn't so much who starts. But if we can get to a level that instead of playing Chris Jones 70 plays, we can play him 50. Now we're a better football team because we've got more guys in there and we're fresher. I mean, you want to rotate guys on the D-line. I'm very excited about our young linebackers. I mean, Paul Swan had a great offseason. Gabe Martin and DJ Lynch, were hurt last year and redshirted, and they give us some depth that we haven't had there in 2 years. And Jason Rice is finally healthy. In the secondary, I mean, there's 8 to 10 guys fighting for playing time, and that was a position last year. There was no depth, no competition. Jobs were handed, and literally, if you don't show up now, you're not going to be the starter the next practice. We haven't had that type of internal competition in 3 years, and we finally have it. And as a coaching staff, we're excited about that.
Do you expect that when this spring is over that you'll have final decisions?
No,
or is that
I think there'll be
starting?
a lot of ors. I think our depth chart, you'll see a lot of ors because we want these battles to keep going through the summer and through camp. That if a guy lines up and starts for us next September 1st against Idaho, it's because they've really earned it. And, the truth of it is there's certain positions that there's clearly going to be a 1. But if it's close at all, we're going to let the battle go. And we want them to continue to fight for it over the summer and through camp.
With the quarterback situation, last year you had 4 or 5 guys. This year you have basically 2. Does that make it easier as a coaching staff or harder?
I think it's easier because now we have 2 good ones. We're not wasting reps at quarterback now. There's not a rep that's being taken that somebody's getting that can't and won't play for us. We have a battle going on at quarterback, and just like every other position, but certainly Matt Shields and Trent Hurley, I think have very high ceilings in terms of how good they can be.
On the line, Wojciech is taking part, but he's not going to do any contact.
No contact. Right? Yeah, he had surgery at the end of last season, so he's practicing, but we're going to keep him out of live work. But certainly the numbers that we brought in mid-year, Dominic Wharton and Scott Hodges and Christian Piazza, that group looks better already. We really have a 2 deep plus some, and we didn't have a 2 deep a year ago. So we have some depth there we haven't had.
And Scott Lewis is on crutches. Do you
Yep.
expect him maybe to be back, or
not in the spring?
No.
His goal is to get him back from camp.
Okay.
Who are some of the other kids that are going to be kept out for spring?
There's a handful of guys, just off the top of my head. Obviously, Ben Wojciech and Scott Lewis are 2 big ones. On defense, Ronnie Goebel and Jarris Campbell are going to be out. Zach Ackenberg is out. And Eric Jordan is going to at least miss the first half of spring. It could be the whole spring.
Okay. Were there any notable position changes? moving offense to defense or switching to a different spot on their unit?
Not really. I mean, there was maybe a corner or two that we're looking at as a safety, but pretty much, maybe a tackle we're looking at as a guard, but we haven't moved offensive guys at defense or back. I mean, and we're hoping not to do that. I think guys are set at their positions, and unfortunately, football injuries happen, so that could change that. But we feel we're better prepared to handle that this year than a year ago.
Switching back to the line for just a minute, Chip Robinson will get most of the reps at center, then with out bend. And then who plays in Chip's spot that he may be competing for at guard?
Well, right now with our first offensive line, Jordan Russo's is back at right tackle. Dominic Llewellyn will be at one of the guard spots. We'd like him to learn left guard, right guard, and give him some center work. Okay. Chip played guard last year, but we want him to get center work, and he'll get some guard work as well. The guy that really had a great offseason for us was Darian Delaney. And right now he's lining up with the first group as the left guard. And at left tackle it's Kyle Bryant. But those guys will be pushed. Isaiah Byler and certainly the junior college players that we brought in, and Christian Piazza, I think will all, they're all in the mix.
You have a new punter. And how does he look, and what do you expect from him, I guess?
Well, today was really the first time that I saw him punt. He was ineligible last year because of the NCAA transfer rules, and he had a cast on his foot most of last year. So really today was day one, and we had a little bit of wind out there, and he hit some nice ones and he hit some ugly ones.
So you want to get that out of your system in the spring.
Yeah.
In terms of the practice schedule, have you made changes or tweaks from years past, or is this fairly typical in terms of what you're doing and when you're doing it?
Well, we've made some tweaks because of what we're trying to get established. I mean, number one, we're going in the morning now just because there's a lot less class conflicts in the morning. So I think we're able to get better teaching time and less disruption to our practice. And we're going to emphasize running the ball and stopping the run more. So more of our practice segments will be dedicated to doing that.
I think I'm good for now.